In the sleepy town of Ravenwood, nestled deep within the heart of the dense, foreboding forest, a secret long buried was about to be unearthed. As the autumn leaves began to fall, the townspeople went about their daily lives, blissfully unaware of the dark history that was about to unravel. It all began when a group of curious teenagers stumbled upon an old diary in the attic of an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. The diary belonged to a girl named Jennifer, and its entries were dated back to the early 1800th century. As they read the diary, the teens were captivated by the tale of a tormented girl, cursed by a malevolent entity that plagued her every waking moment. Jennifer's diary detailed the horrifying events that had transpired in her life. She was born to a loving family, but her happiness was short-lived. On her 13th birthday, Jennifer accidentally broke a strange mirror that had been passed down through her family for generations. Unbeknownst to her, the mirror housed an ancient, vengeful spirit. Upon its release, the spirit latched onto Jennifer, cursing her and all those around her. The diary chronicled the spirit's unrelenting torment, describing how it drove Jennifer to madness. The once vibrant girl had become a shell of her former self, and her family was devastated. As the curse tightened its grip on Jennifer, her family members began to suffer terrible fates. One by one, they died in mysterious and horrifying ways, leaving Jennifer completely alone. The teens, enthralled by the tragic story, made the fateful decision to investigate the curse further. They tracked down the remnants of the shattered mirror, piecing it back together in an attempt to solve the mystery. But as they completed the final piece, the spirit was once again unleashed, bringing with it the dark curse that had plagued Jennifer's life. The spirit, now free, began to terrorize the people of Ravenwood. Gruesome accidents occurred throughout the town, and an overwhelming sense of dread settled over the once peaceful community. The teenagers, desperate to put an end to the terror, sought help from a local historian and an eccentric medium, hoping to uncover the truth behind the spirit and break the curse once and for all. The local historian, Mr. Perkins, and the eccentric medium, Madame Leclerc, combined their knowledge to delve into the dark history of the spirit. They discovered that the malevolent entity had once been a powerful witch named Agnes. Betrayed by her coven and sentenced to a gruesome death, Agnes vowed to exact her revenge on the descendants of her betrayers. Agnes's spirit was bound to the mirror by a powerful enchantment, set in place by her former coven to protect future generations from her wrath. However, the curse was not foolproof, and by shattering the mirror, Jennifer had unwittingly set Agnes free. With the truth of the spirit's origin revealed, the teens, Mr. Perkins, and Madame Leclerc embarked on a quest to find a way to banish Agnes's spirit and break the curse. They delved into ancient texts, seeking a spell or ritual that could counteract the enchantment binding the spirit to the mirror. After countless hours of research, they finally discovered a powerful binding ritual that required the use of a personal object from Agnes's life. The group set out to find such an object, knowing that it was the key to ending the curse and saving their town. The search for the personal object led the group to an old, forgotten crypt hidden deep within the forest. There, they discovered a hidden chamber containing Agnes's earthly remains and her most prized possession, a beautiful, intricately carved amulet. As they retrieved the amulet, the group was beset by supernatural forces, as Agnes's spirit tried to stop them from completing their mission. Narrowly escaping the crypt with the amulet, they returned to Ravenwood, prepared to perform the binding ritual. Under the guidance of Madame Leclerc, the teens and Mr. Perkins performed the ritual. The air crackled with energy as they chanted the ancient words, drawing Agnes's spirit into the amulet. The mirror shards, laid out in a circle around them, began to glow with a blinding light. As the ritual reached its climax, the spirit of Agnes let out a terrible, otherworldly scream as it was pulled into the amulet and sealed away. The mirror shards disintegrated into dust, and a sudden calm washed over the town, with Agnes's spirit contained. The curse on Ravenwood was finally broken. The haunting accident ceased, and the atmosphere of dread that had once suffocated the town began to dissipate. The townspeople slowly returned to their normal lives, grateful for the peace that had been restored. As for the teens, Mr. Perkins and Madame Leclerc, they vowed to safeguard the amulet, ensuring that the dark curse of Jennifer would never again be unleashed upon the world. The tragic tale of Jennifer and the curse that had tormented her would be remembered, serving as a reminder of the power of the past and the importance of facing one's demons. Life in Ravenwood slowly returned to normal after the curse was lifted. The townspeople, initially skeptical of the teen's story, eventually came to accept the truth and were grateful for their bravery. The teenagers became local heroes, and the bond they had formed throughout their harrowing adventure grew even stronger. The abandoned house where the diary had been discovered was eventually renovated and transformed into a small museum, dedicated to preserving the history of Ravenwood and the memory of Jennifer and her family. The tale of the curse became a cautionary story, passed down from generation to generation, a reminder of the dark past and the importance of facing one's fears. Despite the peace that had settled over the town, the teens couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. They were haunted by nightmares of Agnes and the terrible events they had witnessed. Seeking solace, they turned to Madame Leclerc, who, after hearing their stories, began to suspect that a fragment of Agnes's spirit might still be at large. Together, they set out to uncover the truth, scouring the town and its surroundings for any signs of lingering malevolence. Their search led them to an ancient oak tree, rumored to have been the site of Agnes's execution. As they approached, they felt an unsettling chill in the air, and the overwhelming sense of dread that had once plagued the town began to resurface. With Madame Leclerc's guidance, the group performed a ritual to draw out the remaining fragment of Agnes's spirit. As the air around them crackled with energy, the vengeful witch materialized before them, weakened but still desperate for revenge. The teens, having faced the full power of the curse, were no longer afraid. They stood their ground, channeling their newfound courage and determination into the ritual. As they recited the ancient words, the fragment of Agnes's spirit was bound and absorbed into the amulet, finally putting an end to her reign of terror. The final remnants of Agnes's spirit were now contained within the amulet, ensuring the safety of the town and its inhabitants. Madame Leclerc took it upon herself to guard the amulet, vowing to prevent it from ever falling into the wrong hands. The teens, now young adults, continued their lives in Ravenwood, forever bonded by their shared experiences. They became advocates for preserving the town's history and educating others about the dangers of unearthing long-buried secrets. The memory of Jennifer and the curse that had tormented her served as a reminder of the importance of facing the past, no matter how dark it may be, in order to forge a brighter future.